Hey YouTube, it's Faye, and for today's video, I'm just going to give you a quick update on the progress that I have made on the Mk4. Let's get into it.
We're jumping right into my first blissfully ignorant attempt to get the driver's side of the engine bay painted. Forgive my voice, by the way. I've been really sick for the past week and a half. I think I'm finally starting to get over it, but I'm still feeling pretty lousy. Anyway, I sanded, I cleaned, I prepped, I smoothed out some of the rust spots from where the battery acid had destroyed that area behind the headlight assembly, which exposed some bare metal. So I sprayed that with some self-etching primer a little later on before the final color went down. But first I masked off any holes and areas where I don't want paint to end up. It is so much easier to paint an engine bay when there isn't an engine in there, or a brake booster, or a clutch master cylinder, or brake lines, or a whole freaking wire harness. Seriously, all of this is such tedious work. I have so much respect for anyone in auto body because this is 100% not my thing, and I don't know how y'all do it day after day after day. All right, after letting the self-etching primer dry, you gotta scuff it a little bit. Then I mixed my paint and I poured it through this little filter thingy and into my tiny handheld sprayer. And man, when the time came to paint, it just seemed like everything went wrong. First of all, it was well over 100 degrees and I accidentally dripped sweat into the paint in 3 different places. And then the paint just sputtered unpredictably out a little spray nozzle. Man, I was so devastated. I just let it dry. I walked away from it and I came back about a week later, sanded everything back down again, prepped it, and attempted to paint yet again, which also didn't work. Unfortunately, after a third bad attempt, I decided that I needed to reach out to someone that knew a lot more about paint than I did. And you guys, after the success that I had on the other side, I was so confused why this side was not working out.
This looks like we're spitting.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so you're wondering now what are you going to do to make it look right?
So I'm assuming that I should sand it all the way back down.
Not all the way back down, but just, yeah, you got to sand the texture out anyways.
Yes. I mean, it's painstaking. It takes some time.
Yeah, it will. It'll take a long time to do that.
Yeah.
So
but I've done it 3 times already, so.
So I know how much you love sanding. You may want to cut to the chase though with lacquer thinner.
I could.
Because lacquer is reversible.
Right. Oh.
You got some good gloves. You got good gloves?
Yep, and I've got some of your lacquer thinner, actually.
Okay, well, you got the good stuff. Just make sure you wear gloves with that stuff.
Yep.
I tell you what, Faye, that's probably what I would do. That's going to be your path of least resistance.
Is taking it all the way back down with lacquer thinner and just starting over again.
Yes,
Yeah.
Just to sand all that off, you got a lot of sand.
Yeah.
Sanding, and then you got nooks and crannies to deal with.
No, exactly. Okay, cool. That's exactly what I'll do. Thank you so much for the advice.
Now, if I were to do this exact same thing a third time, y'all would have every right to hop into the comments and call me insane. But instead, Rick was so generous and told me that if I took the time to strip everything back down, that he would come and spray it for me, which is awesome. Of course, Rick did want to use a higher quality paint than what I had chosen, so because it could potentially look different, maybe more glossy or maybe more matte than what was already there, the other side of the engine bay that I had already finished had to be redone as well. So I ended up pulling everything back out and sanding and prepping once more. Now, I enlisted Brandon's help to speed up the process of masking because this takes so long, and at this point, it was going to be my 4th time masking. And I've been trying to finish up this paint job for almost 2 months now, and I just needed to get it done. And might I say that this was not even the customer's idea. It was me. I didn't want the engine bay to look like garbage after all the work that I had put into making other aspects of the engine bay awesome. But at this point, I was definitely cursing myself for even making this decision in the first place. Well, shoot, thank you so much. I'm so grateful because the people have now seen me mess this up 3 times, and I'm definitely very ready to just send this thing home.
Oh, this will be righteous. This will never need paint again. This is a really wet coat that's on here. This is a satin finish, so with a satin or a flat, painters often try to do that with the gun, with the distance, with the air and light spray and everything. You shouldn't. Put it on like you normally would clear or something like that and let the chemistry do the work. And so that's what's happening right now. It's flowing and it's doing its little magic, and later on it'll look nice and satiny.
Now, what is the typical cure time? I probably don't want to touch this for a while.
72 hours for complete cross-linking. That's at 77 degrees, so if it's hotter, which it is,
yeah,
in Texas, right, then that window narrows.
Oh my gosh. Okay, things always really do work out the way they're supposed to, don't they? I mean, everything happens for a reason. I am so stubborn. I would not have reached out for help unless I really needed it. It was at my wit's end, and Rick's paint job Oh my god, looks phenomenal. So professional, so perfect. And the paint that he chose is the highest quality. It's resistant to oil, brake parts cleaner, brake fluid, you name it. Lastly, these parts finally came back from powder coating, and they look so good too. I'm going to install these just so you can get a visual of what the end result of this engine bay is going to look like. Now keep in mind there's still a lot more to do and a lot more customization, which will take a lot of time and work, but we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel here. I mean, think back. Can you even remember what it looked like when it first arrived at my shop? Here's a little jump scare.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, this shortest video probably in the series, which unfortunately happened to span the largest amount of time and definitely was like the most amount of effort. So the next video, I'm gonna actually be assembling the valve covers and showing you how to do that, show you how I got to the point where I can put them back on. And then also I got more parts. This build is so crazy. Okay, when I started this build, you guys, it was like, it was not a build. It was fix a coolant leak, fix some oil leaks, and make it run reliably, and that was it. And then every time I do something, he like adds on a bunch more stuff. So this is not at all like a linear build. So now I've got radiated electric cooling fans and a pulley kit. So the build keeps on going and getting crazier and more exciting. But I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm enjoying the project. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
What are you doing? Oh! He wants the watermelon this time. Normally he lets the ladies eat it. Today he's like, my melon. Hi, sweetie. Hi. Oh, Thalia, your cheeks are back. Hi, sweetie. Penny. Da, 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 da. There she is. Come on over, Luna. We got watermelon.